Yeah, all right. Good evening. I'm Ernest. I'm one of the three founders of Major Cleaning Solutions, and I wanted to come and talk to you guys tonight a little bit about our business and some of the background of the business, including the feasibility statement or analysis, excuse me, and some of the financials for the company. All right, so to kick it off again, I'm Ernest. I'm one of the three founders of Major Cleaning Solutions. And here I have Mr. Lewis Litt as well as Mr. Wonderful, which are the other two co-founders of this cleaning company that I will be speaking to you guys today about. So let's get right into it. All right. So to start out, I'm going to give you a little bit about the feasibility analysis for the business. To start out, we'll go ahead and speak a little bit about the product and or service. So we're providing a cleaning and organizing service to working families who are stretched thin. They're working long hours. They have trouble balancing the life, the working load, as well as the life of a parent. Just managing those endless responsibilities and that have trouble with achieving household cleaning tasks on a day-to-day basis. So we know that this service or business would definitely be beneficial inside of the market. So to take it to the next key component of the feasibility analysis is the industry and/or market. So even though the cleaning industry seems to be very competitive, but it is a billion-dollar industry where 10% of households today are currently using cleaning services, which this number also is growing. So it's definitely some space in the market for major cleaning solutions to do what we need to do and also capture part of this 10% of households that is currently using, but also jump in on that increase the number where we can get capture or get involved with that business that is currently being done in that particular market. So to go ahead into the next key component, what we'll need. So I went ahead and partnered with Mr. Lewis Litt as well as Mr. Wonderful. They definitely will be key in some of the organizational strategy of major cleaning solutions. Lewis Litt in terms of contracting and just making sure that we cover all our legal bases to make sure that we're operating appropriately and also legally. And just making sure we keep track of that bartering system and also just any legal complications or challenges that may come, into play with that. Excuse me. And also having Mr. Wonderful as a key investor also helps in terms of having a known name out in the industry, someone who is experienced in running franchises as well as small businesses and getting them up off the ground and also giving them the exposure as well as the tools and infrastructure to be a successful business is another reason why we partnered with Mr. Wonderful. He was very sold on our business plan and idea and very interested, like many others, in the bartering system, and to see where we can use that to leverage, any business needs that we may have, as well as to expand into different customer bases and also give them an opportunity and flexibility in terms of payment to be, taken care of in terms of what their needs are. All right. So we'll go into the next component of the feasibility analysis, the financials. So in the cleaning industry, in terms of the financial gains that is available, this is a billion, $78 billion industry reported in 2023. 17 billion of it is accounted for in just residential alone. So that definitely is a huge opportunity here to, needless to say, and also in the increase of two-income households. The need for this service is there, and also the potential for growth, and the potential for the business to also be extremely. So I'll go ahead and walk you through some of the next components. I'm going to just take you over a high level use of what we'll be using some of the initial investments, as well as, the funds that we've required to get this business up and off the ground. So you see, we have a few investments from our partners as well as angel investors. And let's just start at the bottom here, where to tell you what we want to use those funds for. We want to utilize it for transportation, tech infrastructure and software, advertising, labor to bring on some additional staff, insurance and licenses that we may need, and any other miscellaneous fees that we may not have accounted for. And as of this current time, we don't need any additional funds. We have exactly what we need to get this business off the ground and up and running. All right. So in these next few slides, I just wanted to show like high level of what we'll be expecting from a business performance. And this is just pretty much an ideal of what we are looking to bring in within the first 5 years. And as you see, yes, there is a little bit of deficit starting out. Most businesses do not break profit within the first 2 years, but we really are trying to push for our minimum goals here, where we won't necessarily break even, but we are very driven to beat this number and to break even within our first year. But at minimum, this is where we want to be over the next 5 years, just to kind of give you an idea of what the business goals are, how that money or expenses are being allocated, as well as, what are our projections over the next 5 years. All righty. And again, this is just a high level of the balance sheets, taken in terms of our total assets, our total liabilities, equaling out what our total owner equity will be over the next 5 years, to give investors or potential investors an idea of our scope. And as you see, within the first few years, it starts out slow, but we definitely looking to close to double our profits and assets within the first 2 years, ending out extremely profitable within that fifth year. All right. All right, again, another high level look at the cash flow, what's available, what's the start out, and also ending cash flows, again, starting out at a negative or a deficit, and increasing, slowly over time, into that profitability also, and just what it looks like in terms of who we are paying, in terms of any, again, expenses that we may have to cover and so forth. All right. Again, just a high level look at the cash flow. And again, these will be shared with you guys. If you want to just take a closer look at them, in the financials, but for purposes of this meeting, I want to just keep it high level and just show you an overview. All right. All right. Perfect. Okay. So with this last slide, it just gives you a 5 year ratio analysis, breakdown or overview of that ratio analysis. So some of the highlights of it, with the gross margins, it shows that the business starts out, a little bit slower, potentially being at a negative gross margin, starting out at 18 negative 18%, but over time, over that next 5 years, of course, increasing to a 36% profitability margin. And as far as the return on assets and return on equity, it indicates a strong assets and equity returns as the business grows. and debt to ratio and debt to versus debt to equity, excuse me. We initially leveraged to get the business up and going, but again, it improves over time. And then again, the current and quick ratios, liquidity improves significantly over the next 5 years, indicating a strong short-term, financial health balance in terms of how that business starts out, and again, and how we end. So hopefully, this overview has been extremely helpful in understanding what our goals are in terms of what we look to do within the next 5 years, and also how we plan to start out. And again, thank you for your time, and thank you for allowing me to elaborate a little bit more on my business goals and also what we plan to do as a company with the investors' help. All right, thank you again, and have a great night.